Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So we're a few days into Lost Caverns of Ixalan now, and I think it's fair to say it's having a bit of an impact in the format. We've got a lot of combo decks using the new Discover ability running around. So we're moving away from that a little bit in this video, and we're just playing some good old-fashioned Mono Black Aggro. So we have one new card in this deck, which is Bloodletter of Aclazotz. So this is 1 and 3 black for a 2/4 flying. And if an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. So very much synergizes with an aggro deck. You know, you play this on 4, you attack for as much damage as possible. You just try and beat the opponent down quickly. Now, this is it's a very splashy, interesting, fun card. I'm not sure about its longevity in the format because obviously 4-drop black creatures are all competing with Sheoldred in that slot, so they may not stand the test of time, but willing to give it a go in this particular deck. And so the rest of it is just kind of based around that Mono Black Aggro shell. So we've got 1-drop creatures which can grow. So we've got 3 copies of Evolved Sleeper, so 1/1 for 1, which you can pump mana into and make it bigger over time. Knight of the Ebon Legion 1/2, and you can pay 3 to give it +3/+3 and Death Touch until end of turn. And then if at the beginning of your at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So that synergizes quite nicely with the Bloodletter, just kind of making us trigger that ability more reliably. And then, unsurprisingly, for a black deck, we're also running 4 copies of Thoughtseize and 3 Fatal Push down at the 1-drop slot. And then at 2-drop, we've got similarly creatures which are kind of good at aggroing the opponent out. So we've got 3 copies of Misery Shadow, a 2/2 that can grow just by pumping 1 mana into it, and also has the marginal upside of exiling your opponent's creatures when they die. Then Ayara's Oathsworn. This is a 2/2 with Menace for 2. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then, if it has 4 +1/+1 counters on it, you can search your library for any card and put it into your hand. And then we've got some more removal as well, so the very versatile Sheoldred's Edict, so 2 mana instant. Choose 1, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, a creature token, or a planeswalker, so that's pretty good. Gix Yawgmoth Praetor is our only 3-drop, so this turns all of our creatures into card draw when they hit the opponent, so very powerful legendary creature there. And then at 4-drop, as well as the Bloodletter, we've got a couple of Rankle's Pranks. So people who've watched my previous videos know I enjoy playing this kind of card a lot. That ability to kind of modulate the modes depending on what's kind of most advantageous given the board state at any time. You know, each player discards 2 cards, each player loses 4 life, or each player sacrifices 2 creatures. And then we're also running the full 4 copies of Spawn of Mayhem. So this is a 4/4 with Flying and Trample for 4, but it does have a Spectacle cost for 3. So if the opponent lost life during the turn, we can play it for its Spectacle cost. So hopefully in a deck like this, we're doing that more often than not. And also at the beginning of our upkeep, it deals 1 damage to each player. Then if we have 10 or less life, we put a +1/+1 counter on it, so it can keep growing. And then we've just got a couple of 5-drops, so 1 Invoke Despair, very powerful sorcery that makes the opponent sacrifice a creature, enchantment, and planeswalker, and gives us some card advantage for any of those that they can't do. And then 1 Grey Merchant of Asphodel, just to help us drain the opponent out. And then our mana base, so lots of swamps, as you'd expect, a few Hive of the Eye Tyrant as our creature land, Castle Locthwain for some more card draw, and then we are running a couple of Nykthoses in this deck, just because with the Bloodletter and all of these other cards, we will build up a fair amount of devotion from time to time, so that can occasionally generate quite a lot of mana and be very useful in this deck. Then in the sideboard, we've got our other Fatal Push to bring in against decks which are running lots of cheap creatures. Grafdigger's Cage to stop the opponent bringing back things from the graveyard or from the library. This card may be a little out of date now, given the Discover thing doesn't stop the Discover mechanic, so it's worth bearing in mind that we might need to adjust our sideboards depending on how long that particular deck can stay relevant. Go for the Throat is just some more removal. Reckon a Bankbuster, we've seen this before, just a very good kind of mid-range card if we need to kind of adjust our strategy to be a bit more kind of grindy and could draw us some additional cards. Leyline of the Void is our graveyard hate of choice, mainly because it just adds devotion as well. 2 Phyrexian Obliterator, so this basically hoses all red decks or decks which are trying to deal direct damage. Another Invoke Despair, and then a couple of Thought Distortions as anti-control tech as well. So, pretty simple deck, Mono Black Aggro. interested to see what the Bloodletter can do. It's a fun card. We'll see what it can do. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons as ever. I do really appreciate the support, and we will keep the content coming as we move through this new era of Explorer with all these interesting new cards. Yeah, let's go onto the ladder and see how we go on with this. Okay, this seems like a pretty good bet to me. The opponent has mulliganed and is playing Gigantha. Oh yeah, we are in Diamond now for the next few days, so that's exciting. Double mulligan. So Gigantha generally means Boros Convoke these days. So we'll see. Let's, I mean, this is pretty bad for anyone who's had to mulligan to 5. Do I care that much if they use Thoughtseize, or do I just take the Oni Colt Anvil? Yeah, let's take the Anvil. None of my cards are deal breakers on their own, so I'd rather stop them getting the chain going with this. Okay, let's put Evolved Sleeper into play. There's no point thought seizing, we know they've only got Cavern of Souls. No, fair enough. Well, that was a fairly short game, but we do know they're playing some sort of sacrifice deck, but with Cavern of Souls, which is interesting. So I think Leyline of the Void is probably a good bet here. And so is Grafdigger's Cage. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. I think Sheoldred's Edict is distinctly less impressive here. Probably so is one Rankle's Prank. But apart from that, we don't have a huge amount of information. So let's just run it back. Yep, this will do. So let's open with a Knight of the Ebon Legion. So this isn't the most exciting start I've ever had, to be honest. Sure. Okay, they're going off a little bit here. Probably worth just thought seizing them. Yep, let's take Fable. That was a good shout. Does mean we can't grow our Knight of the Ebon Legion, but that's okay. Double Anvil. It's going to be a problem. Well, let's Fatal Push one of them. That is not the best news I've ever had, to be honest. Oh, hello. Okay, so V2 is a card that does things. Hang on, I need to read this. Whenever you sack another permanent, you gain 2 life. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm just drawing lands, so let's move on. Okay, we know a little bit more about what the opponent's doing now, so I think let's pop in Go for the Throat as additional removal. Not sure we need anything else beyond that. Yeah, we don't need Grafdigger's Cage now, I don't think. Maybe we don't need Leyline either. That's not really what they're doing. So let's pop in. Let's pop back the other Fatal Push. And let's put in Bankbuster. See if we can grind them out a little bit more. Okay, this is a good hand. Yeah, so Mardu Sacrifice is interesting. Yeah, no, that new Mythic Vampire. Yeah, it would be quite interesting, I think, in a kind of sacrifice build. Try and get as much value off it as possible. Kind of Omnath at home. The opponent's doing some heavy thinking. So yeah, this is a very neat 1-2-3 here, providing it doesn't get disrupted, because chances of them being able to block both our creatures on turn 3 are quite limited. Okay, that's fine. So let's attack with our Knight of the Ebon Legion. Yeah, this is all pretty decent. And the good thing about this is it dodges Claim the Firstborn, even though we play it for 3, it does have a CMC of 4, so... Yeah, that's fine. So let's play our Spawn of Mayhem. Cool. Okay, our opponent's playing Kahira, so it's either control or elementals. This is a perfectly serviceable hand. Smells like control to me. So let's not play into a sensor or anything like that. They might have Make Disappear. And they do. So we'll play an Oathsworn. We'll just play down curve a little bit. Right, let's just keep the pressure going. Am I playing anything here, or are we just setting ourselves up to be wrathed? I'm happy to pass the turn, I think. Okay. Well, not really a fan of letting that stay around, so let's just kill it. Yeah, fine. Not that scary. Well, let's just play double threat here, I think. Okay, maybe there's a wrath coming in our future. Or maybe it's just a March of Otherworldly Light, something like that. This feels like one of the better new creature lands, I have to say. Yeah, cheap and map tokens. I mean, less good in this build, but still could potentially be good. Okay. What are we doing here? Well, I mean, I'm in no hurry. I don't know about them. Sure. Okay. I don't mind a couple of maps on the board. Sure. That feels pretty weak, but let's kill their Teferi anyway. Now let's play Spawn of Mayhem. Let's explore with it. Yeah, I'll keep another one. Hopefully that will be suitably terrifying for them. Okay, I'll just play another. We'll stick our knight in the bin. Main phase memory deluge. We do not mind seeing that. Okay, well, let's send Big Tef, Spawn of Mayhem at Big Tef. Okay, that'll do me for this game. So, let's pop in Thought Distortion, reckon a Bankbuster, and I think we can take out at least one Fatal Push. Let's take out Rankle's Prank as well. And one Edict. Nope. Better. Pop back Nykthos. Ooh, Bankbuster is a tempting one to play on too, I have to say. Yeah, let's play it. See if we can land the Oathsworn, and we can. Oh, let's pass the turn. Okay, that's pretty grand. That's not so grand. Fair enough. That's not great news for them. Oh dear. Do we keep this alive, or do we just prefer to play Spawn of Mayhem? I think I prefer to play Spawn, it's more pressure. Okay. Cool. So, anything different on the draw? Don't think so. Could potentially put in the other Invoke Despair, but 5 mana, sorcery speed against Azorius control doesn't feel ideal. Yep, this is a keep. Well, I think I'm happy to just run creatures I don't really care about into their counter spells for the moment. Okay, they potentially don't have any counter spells. Is it worth trying to play Bankbuster, I wonder? I might give it a go. Oh, yes. Okay, very happy about that. Less happy about that. Okay, well, let's pop Bloodletter of Aclazotz into play. Well, this smells like Wandering Emperor to me, so let's just play Bankbuster. Okay. That is A-OK with me. I mean, I don't love it. I would prefer to draw the cards, but, you can't have everything. Okay, let's Thoughtseize. Ooh, no. Now let's play Gix. So we know they've got Iganjo. Fine, they're holding up Iganjo mana. That makes sense. So let's just pass the turn. Fine. Do. Let's make them sack that. We'll play another Gix. Okay, well, we're both just in top deck mode now. Let's just hope our top decks are better than theirs. Okay, Castle Lochthwain is an excellent draw, but let's get a creature on the battlefield. Gain ourselves a bit of life. And if we can turn it into a 3-5, that will dodge the Iganjo issue. Okay, that's less good. Okay, let's explore. Yeah, I'll keep that. Let's send it at Teferi. Fair enough. I'll just play it again. Okay, I could live with that. Narset. Narset is a card. So let's explore with our old grey merchant friend. A Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Then I don't think. I mean, we're facing down a Wandering Emperor like you wouldn't believe, but if we can get them to 3 here, they are in quite serious trouble. I think. I assume. I don't know. We'll find out. Well, they're not rushing to play the Emperor. Okay, that's very good. So Narset is fine, but it alone isn't going to save them. Yeah, we're probably dead now they played that. Because we can play Spawn, but they'll just tuck it with Teferi. Yep, that'll do us. That's a shame. We nearly got them there, but they just drew a bit too well. A match on the play. Can't complain about that. Well, I could, but it wouldn't do any good. That's our good friend Quintorius canned. Okay. So this smells to me like the Wild Growth Walker, whatchamajigger, Amalia combo. So let's take their Wild Growth Walker. Seems like a good start to me. Now let's play IR's Oathsworn. Ooh, okay, fair enough. That's a pretty good start for our opponent. Let's kill their scout. Play Misery Shadow. Pass the turn. So they don't have much going on at the moment, which is good. So let's play Bloodletter. And now I think we're just passing the turn again. So they can cord for 2. No, they're just creating a food. Fair enough. Well, that's even better. So let's attack. So I can pump it to 7. Oh yeah, I can just kill them here. I'll do that. Penny in the air. Okay. That's good. It means they're not using Board of Calling. They go to 3. Okay, let's Fatal Push their bird. So they can Call of Calling for 2 here, but I don't think it does them much good. So let's just pump our Misery Shadow. Okay. Go ahead, do your worst. That doesn't save you. So it is Amalia combo, that's good to know. So what do we have that can disrupt that? I think just lots more removal is good. Graph Digger's Cage is good. Don't think we need Bankbuster here. Anything that's like sorcery speed is not great, so let's get rid of those. And 2 more cuts. Thoughtseize is great, obviously. Gix is fine. Maybe let's just trim Gix. Yeah, it's just about having enough interaction to stop the combo, really. Yep. Let's take so let's take Wild Growth Walker. Let's play our Oathsworn friends. They did not draw with their clue there. That was a mistake. This feels like an obvious bodyguard target, but they're still not drawing with their clue. Are they doing that deliberately, or have they just forgotten it's there? Okay, let's pop a couple more creatures into play. They don't currently have either half of their combo, so that is worth bearing in mind. Well, that's not suspicious at all. Ooh. Yeah, haha, no. Tough choice, but I feel like this is the right one. Yeah, both these creatures being menace is going to cause them a lot of problems because eventually they're going to have to give up some of their creatures. Okay. What have they got for me, I wonder? Okay, that's a good start. Nothing. Ha. Okay, well. They're currently dead on board. Yeah, that's not going to work. Neither is that. If they have some life gain or potentially cord for something, I don't know. Yeah, okay. X equals 3. Go again. Yeah, Skyclave Apparition makes sense. It's not hugely helpful for them, but because I'm going to get back a lot of stuff. Let's play another sleeper. Pass the turn. Sure. Okay, I feel reasonably confident at this point. Yep, they're dead. Spawn will kill them on upkeep. Oh, unless they have another Chord of Calling. That could be what happens here. In which case... Or it could just be Skrelv holding priority. Yeah, so they could Chord for Amalia. That would start the loop going. That would kill all of our creatures. Doesn't seem to be what they're doing, though. Yeah, maybe they're just sulking. I'll reach for my tiny violin. Anyone know any jokes? Write them in the comments if you do. I never understand this. I mean, the end result is the same. What, you're not really achieving very much. There we are. Okay, so that was Mono Black Aggro. So we did a bit of a showcase for our new card. Well, new card. Bloodletter did some good work in a couple of those matches. Struggled a bit against Azorius control, but our opponent did have a very good draw in those games. So we'll take one last look at the deck list. So there it is. Mono Black Aggro. Thank you very much for watching, as ever, and I will see you next time.